Hello YouTube. Okay, today I'm gonna show you some video footage which I put together today when I went shopping, so I can show you guys kind of a real world example of what it looks like to be gang stalked. This footage was put together over put together over about 35 minutes. The entire journey took kind of more like an hour and a quarter, but I'm deducting the time that I spent in the post office and also in the supermarket. So the accumulation of footage I'm going to show you essentially took place over just about half an hour, 35 minutes, I'd say, on average. Now, before I begin, I should say that today's a really nice day. It's the 2nd of December 2022, and where I am I'm in the UK in the south, and it's a gorgeous day, very warm, very bright and sunny, especially considering the fact that it's December. But it's like I say, it was a very bright day today. This footage was taken around midday. There were no problems with visibility, so there was certainly no reason for any vehicles to have their headlights on. But what you're going to see is some footage essentially of me being stalked by vehicles which all have either their headlights blazing or their fog lights on, and you'll see that there are so many of these vehicles that essentially it couldn't be coincidence. That there would have to be some form of coordination going on, because there are just too many vehicles doing it, and not just that, but also it's the timing of it. It's where these vehicles actually are. They always seem to be on corners. When I turn into a corner, they'll always be waiting for me when I come across a junction or a corner or hit a roundabout. These vehicles will always be there at precisely the same second I arrive. So I'm gonna show you this footage. It's essentially a collection of various clips which I've taken today on this on this trip, and you should, by the end of the video, start to see a pattern emerge. And if you can bear in mind that this happens to me every single occasion I leave the house, it isn't just today, it's every single time I leave. So it's obviously, it's a little bit intimidating that every time you go out the door, you're made aware that there are people who are monitoring you, watching you, following you. It's obviously not very nice, but in any case, let's crack on, and let's start with this footage. Okay, so here, apologies for the shaky footage, but you can see me walking towards the main roundabout. Now, I started recording early because I know what's going to happen, because the same thing happens every time I get here. You see, first car, fog lights. You'll also see the car but one behind it, or Jeep, or whatever, is blazing its headlights. Now this occurs every single time I hit that main roundabout. Sometimes there are literally dozens of cars. This is some further footage I've taken just a little bit back. You'll see more cars with the headlights on. This is the first junction. You see the car parked up there waiting for me with its lights on. This is the second junction. Again, more cars with the headlights on. There were 3 back to back here. I missed the first one, but I caught the rear too. You'll see more of them arrive at this third intersection. This is where I turned off to visit the post office. There were quite a few people in my way here, so it was difficult to kind of get footage, but you can see this guy parking up here with his lights on. I managed to get some footage of him. When I left the post office, you'll see that there are 2 police cars which were parked right outside the entrance as I left. They weren't there when I went in. It's quite possibly testament to the fact that police officers are actually involved in this, believe it or not. I mean, it could be coincidence, but I don't think it was. The best footage is on the way back when I arrive at the second junction. Here you'll see an entire convoy of them. So you see here I start recording because I saw some waiting for me. Here's a biker here flaring his headlight, but I decided to wait here for a little bit and just see what I could what footage I could get, and you'll start to see a lot of vehicles here, all blazing headlights. It's quite slow, so bear with the footage. You can see this guy approaching here with his lights on as well. There'll be a van which will be coming along at the moment. Now I could see that this van had its headlights on, but I wanted to make sure that I got a record of that. I got some good footage of it, so I decided to stay here and wait until this van got a little bit closer. I thought that would be the last vehicle, so I decided to wait here and just so I had some sort of evidence that you can see that van's actually got its headlights on. So I stayed here for a little while. What I wasn't expecting is that the van actually wasn't the last vehicle to approach me with its lights on, and there are actually a couple of vehicles behind it, which you'll see. But I mean, you can tell here from about from this distance that the van's definitely got its lights on. You'll see it turn off at the moment, and you'll see a couple of other vehicles behind it. But this is every single time I leave the house, every junction, every roundabout, every corner. In the middle of the daytime where it's nice and sunny outside, there'll just be vehicle after vehicle with its lights on. So you see this one approaching from the back as well, again blazing its lights. Just absolutely no reason for it to have its lights on. I decided to take some footage as well. I mean, you can really see from here that it's a nice day, but I decided to take some quick footage also, just of the sky, just to show that it's that it was a really nice day today. It was really quite pleasant outside, especially like I say, given the fact that it's December. But I took some quick footage here, just of the sky, of the sun shining through, just so you can see that it is a beautiful day outside. Visibility is high. There's no reason for fog lights, and there's certainly no reason to have your actual headlights on. You see a blue sky. It's generally speaking, it's a beautiful day, really nice day. Given the fact that it's December and technically we're in winter. So when I arrive back at the first junction, you'll see another car here, just precisely as I attempt to cross the road. The car waiting there will have its headlights on. So you see, I start recording early because I know what's going to happen, because it occurs every single time I go to cross a road. Here we go. It's quite difficult to make out, but you'll see it as I cross the road. You see fog lights. So here's the worst one. On my way back home, things were quiet. I thought they backed off because things were quiet at the main roundabout, but they always tend to kind of hit me on this home stretch. This is my home street, and they always tend to hit me hard here. So I started recording just before I hit the main street, because I knew something was going to happen, because it always does. And lo and behold, you'll see a DPD van come driving past me with its lights on, just as I approach my front door. It's about 10 meters away from my front door. Now this. See here. Now this company, DPD, has been heavily involved in stalking me for in excess of 18 months. It's misusing its company resources to harass and stalk people, which obviously is completely unwarranted. It shouldn't be doing this. And personally, I think it's kind of testament, to the state of our national infrastructure, that companies like this are actually getting away with harassing people, where essentially they should just be doing a job. But this company's been sending vans strategically to make me aware that I'm being stalked for 18 months. I mean, over the last couple of months, I haven't seen I haven't seen them at all. I hadn't seen a DPD van for probably over 2 months. So I thought that these guys had actually left me alone. But just recently, just over the last week or two, it seems to have started again, and this company is continuously sending vehicles past my location whenever I'm out. Happened today, like I say, on my home street. It happened on my last journey as well. I think the last time I left the house was Monday, which will have been we're on the 2nd today, so Monday will have been 28th of November. So that was the last time I left the house, and there was another one which was kind of strategically parked up, making sure that it was in my line of sight. And then when I saw it, it immediately turned its ignition and drove off. I mean, this is terrible that that there are national companies involved in this, and this company have been harassing me now, like I say, for 18 months, and it's really not on it. I mean, frankly, I'm disgusted by it that any company can do this and misuse its resources in such a way. I mean, in terms of the police cars which were outside the post office, I mean that could have. I mean, I guess it could have been a strange coincidence, but I genuinely believe that the police have got people who are involved in this. I mean, I don't know whether it's kind of some sort of system which everyone knows about in the police, but there are certainly individual police officers who are participating in this. I mean, in actual fact, a couple of weeks ago, when I was approaching one of these junctions, one of the cars which was beaming its headlights happened to be a police vehicle, and on that occasion I declined to record it because I mean I'm not looking for trouble off the police. They can kind of make your life very difficult if they want to, especially the corrupt variety who are going to get themselves involved in this. So I figured it was just best to just stay. I mean, I essentially didn't want to give them an excuse to pull me up and start harassing me, and I figured that if I started recording them, I might give them that excuse, because I've seen enough YouTube videos of people who get hauled up on under terrorism legislation because they're filming police vehicles or even police buildings. So I didn't want to give them that excuse, but certainly I believe that there are police officers who are involved in this, which again, like I say, is just disgusting. It's just simply disgusting that the people we rely on to protect us in society are getting themselves involved in stalking and harassing people. It's just, I mean, it's just absolutely bizarre. It's just, the whole thing is just so bizarre, and it seems to be. It's difficult to kind of figure out exactly what's going on, but I can take a good guess, and it looks to be some sort of psychiatric reprisal system similar to the one which is run in former East Germany by the Stasi. It certainly seems to be looking that way. I mean, it's like they want to. The way that they're harassing you, they want to make it look essentially like you're paranoid. They want to, because who's going to believe? I mean, even with his video footage, I mean, even with his video footage, and even with it happening, for a solid, 18 months with myself, I still realise how paranoid it sounds when you try and speak to other people about this. Unless you've actually experienced it yourself, it's very, very difficult to kind of get a handle on. But certainly the methods that they're using to stalk and harass people, they want you. I think that they want you to report it, so that you can be detained under the Mental Health Act, because they know how paranoid it sounds. I mean, you turn up at a police station and complain. There's a national company called DPD which is sending its vehicles out to stalk me, and of course they're a delivery company, so they've always got kind of a plausible reason to be in the general vicinity of the target. But they're it's they're not in the vicinity of the target for innocent reasons. They're there because they want their presence to be felt. They want the target to realise that they're being harassed. And like I say, it's just it's really disgusting. It's simply disgusting that anybody could do this, and especially people who in general are supposed to be upstanding members of the community, but they're just just like the sign at the beginning of the video, they're destroying the community. They're ripping it apart. This can happen, in 2022, despite the full knowledge of history that we have of the other states which have used tactics like this, to harass and monitor and spy on their citizens. It beggars belief. It really beggars belief that this can actually go on, and especially in plain sight with nobody doing anything about it. Anyway, I'll leave it there. But like I said, I mean, I just wanted to show you this footage. Like I say, this is a typical day for me. Anytime I go out, stuff like this happens. It's it's essentially every single road I walk down. I get numerous vehicles either with both headlights or one headlight. Depending on the mood they're in. I get a bunch of other stuff as well. A lot of fake coughers. I was woken up this morning after 3 hours by somebody coughing outside my window. Sleep deprivation, as I'm sure all the victims of this know, that sleep deprivation plays a big part in it. They want you wired, they want you paranoid, and they want you exhausted, essentially. And it's just wrong. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. There's absolutely no justification for for doing this to another human being. I mean, I could have possibly some kind of sympathy for it if they were doing it to murderers or or rapists or child molesters, but just ordinary citizens, and they're just being harassed for what is essentially, to the best of my knowledge, no reason. I mean, it's the only explanation I can think of is I've just annoyed the wrong person. I've annoyed somebody, and they've known somebody who could put my name on some sort of list, and next thing you know, this happens. And if it happened, if it's happened to me, it can happen to anybody. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I'll leave it there for now. And I'll make some more videos in the future, possibly discussing, precisely who I think is responsible for it. Exactly. I'll try and give it, some sort of detailed description as to what I think is going on. But I mean, I'm always wary about this because, I don't want to speculate, without any kind of direct evidence, as to who's organising it. I don't really want to speculate too much, but you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that that there's a handful of potential organisations and and or institutions which would have access to to the type of resources which are being used. So the list of potential culprits isn't large. I mean, it's not Bob the burglar who lives at the end of the road. It's not your average street robber who's doing it. This is a highly organised system, and there are a very limited number of participants or number of organisations which could potentially be responsible. But that's it, guys. I'll leave it there for now. Have yourself a nice evening. Peace.